Hey y'all, we done came across this video today that we needed to share with y'all real fast.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. Like, I'm on lunch and I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. We shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? Bro, and I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know, y'all. But this ain't fucking it, y'all. This ain't fucking it. I did not picture life being this fucking bullshit, y'all.
As a man, the best thing you can do is realize, one, you probably ain't gonna hit the lottery, and two, nobody's coming to save you. People will literally watch you starve and die on the side of the road as a man, and the sooner you accept that, the better off you are, because then you can start to make a plan to save yourself. First thing you need to do is find a skill, because when you have a skill, it's easier for life-changing opportunities to find you. And think about it, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the better you get at it, the more you get paid for doing it. Now that you have a skill, the second thing you need to do is promote yourself and go actively look for opportunities. People always ask me, how did you make the USA national rugby team after only playing rugby for 3 months? It's because I actively looked for the opportunity. I made a list of the top 50 people that I needed to know in USA Rugby, and I emailed every single one of them. Now, I only got back 2 responses, but when I was given the opportunity, I showed up and capitalized. And that's the third and last thing you gotta do. You gotta capitalize. I heard a quote, and I forget where I heard it, but it said that luck is opportunity plus preparation. When you're given an opportunity, you have to be prepared to do that job better than anybody else can do that job. You're only ever going to be considered valuable if you have value to offer. So you can sit there and complain, or you can find a skill, start to offer people value, and change your own life.
Okay. So, you heard the original clip, which felt some kind of way. Because I understand, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all understand what he was going through.
Yep.
I heard Poor Man's give his take on it and some of the things he said. Together, we have found at least six verses from the Bible talking about purpose, talking about spiritual gifts. And he sort of said that find a skill. The only thing that I would sort of lean into that with would be you already have a skill.
Yep.
You already have one. There is no person on this planet that's born without some type of gift. Now, finding it,
That's a whole nother story. This is something that we've talked about numerous times on our channel. Purpose, finding your purpose, making sure that you tap into your gifts, your spiritual gifts. Shout out to Poor Man's Podcast. That's where we got the clip from.
we will link it in the description.
We'll link it in the description box. But it is so important for us, and I'm sorry, I think I just cut you off, babe.
No.
But it is so important for us to make sure that we are focusing our energies to figure out what our gifts and talents are so that we can cultivate it. Because like Jay said, like that clip, that brother, like it hit here. I was just like, dang, I feel him, because I'm pretty sure you guys have been in that situation. I know I've been in that situation where you work someplace and it's just like, yo, like, why am I here? You know what I mean? And it's just like, there's got to be more to it than that, or you just feel like a sense of emptiness with what you're doing, and it sucks to be in that place, because as Jay started to say, like every person that's born has a purpose. You may not know what it is, but one way to help find or try to figure out what that could be is, and I think you were starting to mention this as well too, basically figure out what are the things that you're good at. Poor Man mentioned a skill, getting a skill. That's good, but when it comes to purpose, you actually already have it within you. It's just a matter of you cultivating it. We did a video, and we'll try to link it down below. We did a video a while back about gifts and talents, and we mentioned the parable of the talents. If you guys haven't read that story, go check it out. We'll link where that is. I don't remember exactly where it is in the Bible, but it's pretty deep. Essentially, it's like if you're not utilizing your talents, if you're not utilizing your gifts, like you are basically lining yourself up or setting your life to basically be a life of just total disappointment and frustration. And oh, actually, so I went to church this past weekend, right? And one of the things that the pastor spoke about was the parable, or not even the parable, but just a story in the Bible about the fig tree. I'll link that as well too, because I don't remember exactly where it was, but I'll find it and I'll link it before. But essentially what was happening is Jesus, he finished doing what he did, like over, across the sea or something like that. He was healing people and everything. And he left where he was and he was traveling somewhere. So, you traveling, you hungry, So he passed by a fig tree to get some fruit. The fig tree didn't bear any fruit. It didn't have any fruit. He was like, you know what? Essentially, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, wither and die.
Bruh.
I was like, yo, now I've heard this, story many a times, but it really like hit home and resonated with me, because I was like, yo, like the fig tree wasn't doing what it was designed to do. It was not bearing fruit. You're a fig tree. You're supposed to bear fig fruit, right? So it's like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. What good are you?
Bruh.
It's like you just here taking up space. So it's like, when we do not utilize the gifts that we were given with at birth, like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, your gifts, if unused, they'll fade away. They might be given to someone else. I'm pretty sure some of you out there, have you ever had an idea of something and you're like, oh, I should make this or do this, and then eventually you see somebody with your idea and it's just like, yo, I was thinking the same thing. I had that idea. That happened to me, real talk, when I was in school, when I was in fashion design school, but that's a long story. But anyway, yeah, it was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I had this idea, and then literally, I think it was like maybe 2 years later, this came out. It was actually the idea for the Apple Watch. I had that idea years and years and years ago before it came out. And then when it came out, I was just like, yes, because it was like a project that we had to create, like a futuristic type of gadget that everybody would have to basically, like, they couldn't live without, basically like our cell phones right now, like we can't live without them. And I literally designed the iWatch, and it was crazy. And it was just like, bruh. But yeah, back to the point. I know I'm talking a lot, but it's the first time for everything. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and just watching that video and listening to my man's, like, just being in pain, like hurt, because he was like literally crying, because that stresses you out. As adults, we spend most of our lives working, majority of us. We spend a good 50 years, if not more, basically working. And you spend 50 years doing something that you can't stand.
Bruh.
For 40 plus hours a week. Like, that really messes with you. We wonder why we have high suicidal rates, high divorce rates, people with mental issues or just depression. It's because we are not doing what we were created to do. When you find that thing and you do it and you work on it, I love listening to Steve Harvey's story. I don't know if you guys ever heard it, but if not, look him up on YouTube. It's all over. He's always doing motivational speaking. He talks about all he did to basically get to where he is he just did him.
Yep.
He did what came natural to him, but he worked at it for years and years and years, and he kept at it and kept at it. And the Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. And I'll be dang all if his gifts did not make a lot of room for him, and not just him, but I'm pretty sure there's many other people, many examples of that you can see.
Yeah, Denzel Washington has a great story about his too.
Yeah.
So look, long story short, everybody has a gift, everybody has a talent. I've heard several YouTubers who I like a lot talk about developing a high earning skill. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Money is not, and I always say this, every couple of videos I always say, money ain't gonna save you. Money ain't gonna save you. It's not the end.
Yeah.
Like, having money does not make you happy.
Right.
Money is a tool, but it is not a goal. Okay? So if you want fulfillment, finding what your talent or gift is, and it can be a variety of things. It could be doing hair, cutting a lawn, doing anything in the arts. It could be acting. It can be, you have a great way with children. You're great with children. It could be you're a great organizer. It could be that you are great at planning things. It could be literally a whole crap load of things. Basis of it, Find the thing that you can do very well with the least amount of effort and start feeding it.
Yeah.
Just like it's something that comes natural to you. And it might be something that you've always been able to do. And just because the road is hard, you might be shying away from it. Look, if you're a singer, everybody's not meant to be Beyonce.
Bruh.
But would you rather make $60,000 a year singing backup for somebody or doing gigs around town? Or would you rather make $60,000 working a job that you hate with all of these managers who hate their job, who are taking out all of their hate for their jobs on you?
Oh, hell no. Bruh.
You living in purpose and in your gift will always be infinitely better than the alternative of just working a job.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that's our main point. Now, there's more that we can go into it, but I'm looking at the time. I don't want this video to be super, super long. We're gonna do videos on purpose every now and then, but just really think about it. If you find yourself, it's like really miserable being at your job, you probably need to cultivate your gift and to do something with it. And then there will be things that you may have done years ago that you ain't so good at because it might have been given away. The parable that Onika was talking about was in Matthew 25. One of the things is one of the people who had the talents, they hid it and buried it. And when he came back, the master took it and gave it to one of the people who already had a bunch of talents. And that's another thing. Some people will have a whole crap load of talents and some people only have one. I'm gonna tell you, you take that one and you flip it like Steve did. He got one. He got one. And look at all he was able to do with one. Another thing that I would say is, try to focus your energy on that talent, on that gift. You might have to start off part-time. Do not be afraid to let the world see your gift. Do not be afraid to put it out there because a lot of people run into that.
Bruh.
And they don't put it out there because they don't feel they're good enough. They don't feel they're this. They don't feel they're that. Put it out there. The constructive criticism will make you better. Everybody just has to develop tougher skin. Like that's it's nothing you can do about it. Anybody who's successful has tough skin. And when they don't, you see them fall apart, usually in public. So you have to cultivate this gift because it is the only way that you're truly going to have contentment in your life and that you're going to feel like you were doing what you were supposed to do. Money is not going to do that for you. Everybody is not meant to be rich, but you can be happy and content in your life. And by happy, I mean joy, which is long-term as opposed to I'm happy now and then I'll be mad if somebody cuts me off in the car later on today. I mean, overall, your life will be a net positive and you will look over your life every day and be like, wow, today was, such and such was getting on my nerve, but it still was a good day because I was doing what I love to do. Anytime you see people like that, they generally have a happy countenance overall,
Right.
Even when things are going bad. So this is what we wanted to put out there.
I was just going to say, and it may be something, just keep it in mind, it may be something that you're doing already, but
Possibly.
don't necessarily realize it. It could be something that you're doing at work. It could be a portion of your job
Possibly.
that you do that you really enjoy, but then there's other things that you don't necessarily enjoy, and it's just like you can do without. So you just have to figure that out. Figure that piece out and work on it. We have to work, we have to have jobs to be able to sustain ourselves and our lives and everything like that. Work on cultivating whatever that is. Yeah. I had something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it is.
That's all right, y'all.
Bruh.
Video's long enough. We'll see y'all later. This was just a short PSA from J&O.
Yes.